a week of reading a 1,300 page plus book, and a novella to boot. Hey everyone, I'm Nikhil with Shelf-Esteem, and this is the weekly reading roundup for the week ending December 23rd, 2024. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Nikhil with Shelf-Esteem. I'm a composer, now also a booktuber. You can find my music in The Wheel of Time Season 2, His Dark Materials Season 3, and the newly released psychological horror film, Dead Whisper. So, I love doing these weekly reading roundups because it's a chance to talk with you all. We have a Discord channel now linked below if you want to have more kind of immediate conversations with fellow book lovers of different reading backgrounds who love to discuss books with each other and help, reignite each other's reading passions and, of course, put impossibly long lists on each other's TBR, because that's what we do for friends, right? So if you like this kind of video, please like and subscribe, and let's jump on into the books. So this was a spectacular reading week for me. I've been trying to wake up extra early and devote an hour of time to reading, just to kind of start the day away from the screen, because I spend so much of my time as a composer in front of a screen, that it's nice to be able to kind of get away from that and just reset the mind before you kind of dive into the day. So I've been trying to do that, and then I read for a couple hours in the evening. So that 3-hour span has been really, really helpful. I'll put my phone in the other room, and it's been really, really nice actually for diving into stories that I really care about. This has been a particularly exciting reading month for me, and it's no small part due to this behemoth that everybody on the planet really is reading right now, Wind and Truth, the culmination of Arc 1 of Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archive. Massive tome here. 1,324 pages, I think it was, all told. And I think at the beginning of the week, I started around page 700. So I read like almost 700 pages of this massive tome to finish the book. I finished it like late one night, a couple days ago. And I got to say, I absolutely, I feel like that the credit that it gets is very much deserved. Sanderson really sticks the landing, I think, with this, and he gives broader implications for his whole Cosmere universe and what will happen in books 6 through 10. Now, I don't want to have to wait 7 years for book 6, so I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I don't think I'm going to have the time to reread these books between now and then, and I don't know if I really want to reread them all, but I just know I'm going to forget everything by the time he releases book 6. But anyways, I've just really enjoyed this ride. It's meant a lot to me. These characters have meant a lot to me. I think Kaladin's journey was particularly interesting. Seth's journey in this book was fantastic. I mean, the way he starts at the very beginning of book 1 to where he ends up in this book is a massive amount of growth. I really liked the way a lot of these characters' storylines kind of tied up, or either resolved or were left unresolved, deliberately so. Now, the only gripe I have about this book is kind of related to actually one of Sanderson's strengths, I thought, which with fantasy, mental health issues are not often kind of at the forefront, as far as the characters and exploring that aspect of character flaws and inner struggles, right? And Stormlight Archive was always the exception to that. I always felt like the way Brandon Sanderson deals with mental health issues was very kind of subtle, but also putting it at the forefront, if that makes sense. It was a nice real balance between the two. In this book, I really felt like some of the, I don't know if it was the dialogue or the prose or both. And I've been, also reading a lot of great prose lately, Philip Chase, Robin Hobb, Janny Wurtz, to name a few. And so it just feels maybe a little jarring for me, but I did feel like, there's mentions of therapy in this and words that you would colloquially think of in our modern language. And it felt just a little bit to me, it kind of took me out of the story a little bit sometimes. I think the thing that I really liked about his previous works was there was a little bit more subtext, a little bit more subtlety in the way those things were delivered, whereas I felt like it was very on the nose here. So that kind of, took me out of the story a few times, which was a little disappointing for me personally. But all in all, I really did enjoy Wind and Truth by Brandon Sanderson. I would love to know if you've had a chance to read this massive tome as well, and what you think. Please leave it in the comments, because I always love to hear your thoughts. Whether you agree or disagree, it doesn't matter, honestly. Like, it's all about having that dialogue and being able to chat about the books that we love. So that was the first thing that I got a chance to read. Now you may think, oh, that alone would be a week's worth of, more than a week's worth of reading, right? So I actually got a chance to read The Gallant by Janny Wurtz. This is the kind of prequel novella that's set 500 or 600 years before her Wars of Light and Shadow series. Now, the reason I chose this for December is I wanted to prep myself for a Wars of Light and Shadow soft read along that we're doing on the channel. We're going to be reading one book every other month, and that is linked in the Discord below if you want to find out more about the schedule as well about that. But all I got to say about The Gallant right now is it is one of the best novellas I've ever read. And I'm not being hyperbolic about this. Janny Wurtz delivers in like 100-something pages character arcs that really make you feel for them. I mean, she has a romance story in this, and I'm not a big romance guy in fantasy. If it serves the story or the characters, I'm all for it, right? But if it feels like it's just romance for romance sake, it's not my thing, And Janny Wurtz takes the other approach, and she really makes the romance about the characters and the implications for them. The sense of duty and sacrifice. You see Lysiane and Verane's relationship, and when you first see it on the page, you go, I wonder, is this real love? Is this not? And you get to really see that flower and unfold as the pages turn. I just found it fascinating. And her prose is some of the best I've ever read in my life. It's like words cascade into each other. And I just don't know how to describe it. It's not just beautiful for beauty's sake. It's like beautiful as a construct and beautiful in the delivery of what she's trying to convey about the characters and the words and stuff like that. So I'm so excited for Wars of Light and Shadow. It's actually going to be difficult for me to keep up with one every other month, because I'm going to want to just read them straight through. But I just have so many other read-alongs going on that I probably one every other month is the best thing for my personal sanity. But have you all read The Gallant? I know, a bunch of us had been talking about it in Discord and on FABLE, which is the other app where we're kind of tracking each other's progress in it and talking in the chapter kind of headings that they have there. I'm also linking that below if you want to join in on those discussions. But very easy read, very wonderful read, and I really liked the way the characters are kind of explored in this. I can't wait for the broader implications for Wars of Light and Shadow. So that's what I read. So what am I going to read this coming week? So I'm going to read a couple things. I'm going to continue on my journey of Return to Eden by Philip Chase. That concludes his Eden trilogy. And I'm so excited to get to this for two reasons. I mentioned this previously, but I absolutely loved Philip Chase's Eden trilogy. Prophet of Eden has made it on my top 10 books of 2024. So that gives you an idea of how strongly I feel about the series, how much I feel like people should read it. So I am excited about Return to Eden because, I've watched other booktubers talk about it, and some say it's their favorite in the series. So I'm excited to see how it lands for me. And then also for a second reason is I'm going to be collaborating with Philip on an official main music theme for his trilogy. So that we'll keep you updated on in the coming weeks. And I'm just so excited to contribute. And I'm just so grateful, Philip, that you asked me to help out on this. I'm really looking forward to it. So the best way to know, how to really capture the essence of that series is to, of course, read all the books. So Return to Eden is going to be the next thing I'm going to be reading. And then I also want to continue on the train of The Crimes of Rooker Flynn by A.R. Witham. So I'd mentioned this book in a previous, a reading roundup, and I'd mentioned also that I wanted to finish it by November. Now, as Wind and Truth came out, as these other things came out, I just didn't, unfortunately, have time. But it's not for lack of enjoyment. I've really been enjoying the journey so far. I'm about halfway through, and it's a small read, but it packs a punch. It's really been really great. I've been enjoying it a lot, so I'm looking forward to kind of finishing that this week as well. So that's the second book I'm going to read. And then the third book I'm going to read is another self-published author. Sean Bobby Kerr had sent me a Kindle version of his book, A Journey Thrice Begun. Now, it's got a lot of adventure, it's got a little bit of whimsy, but also contrasted with the dark in terms of fantasy is considered. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading that. I'd hope to finish that by the end of the year. I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately, just because Wind and Truth really kind of took a lot of my reading month out. But I'm going to be continuing it into January, so it's going to carry over into January, and I'm excited to see, that book as well. And kind of, Sean, thank you so much for sending it to me. I'm linking it down below, folks, if you want to check it out, or any of these books I mention always. So feel free to check those out as well. So let's talk a little bit about this week on the channel. So we are at 923 subscribers right now as of this taping. So I'm just so grateful. So many new faces are joining. They're joining the Discord. They're joining the channel. We're having great discussions together. And I really appreciate you all being here because, that was the impetus of starting this channel in the first place, is growing a community where we could support each other and make it about the books and not about anything else. No agendas, no posturing, just about the books, about sharing our love of books. So I'm really grateful you all are here. We've passed the 3,000 hour watch threshold for monetizing the channel. So I'm just really grateful for you all for, helping to contribute to that. And I did this purely out of fun. My day job is composing. And so I didn't hope to become like a YouTube star or something out of it or anything like that. I just wanted to create a community. So I just appreciate you all being here. And I released a video, which I'm linking up here, called The Top 10 Books of 2024. Now, there's some surprises on this list. A couple people were surprised at my number 1 and number 2 picks. But if you know anything about me, I've been discovering a love of different genres this year and really exploring different authors. So I'm excited to kind of, if you haven't gotten a chance to check that out, definitely check it out and let me know, in the comments if you would rearrange this list or if you think I'm bogus or full of it or whatever, or if you have a different top 10 list of your own, please let me know. So that was the this week on the channel. So this coming week, the holidays are upon us. I would normally release a video on Wednesday if I could. Wednesday's Christmas Day, so I don't really know if I'm going to be able to do anything special for that. My father-in-law is coming into town today, so we're going to be kind of tied up with family-related stuff and all that. But if I'm able to put a video up, then I will. But definitely on Friday the 27th, I'm going to be putting up my January TBR. Now, for some of the people who are involved in the read-alongs, this probably isn't much of a surprise, but there are a couple of additions on this list as well. And for those of you who don't know, I'm going to be doing a few read-alongs, kind of starting those with our channel and Discord, and then also I'm going to be adding a couple others to the list, maybe joining a read-along or two. So there's going to be it's going to be a stacked month. There might not be as much sleep as usual, but you know what? Sleep is what the holidays are for, right? So let's just talk real quick a little bit about this week on the music front. So this week on the music front has been really, really great. I got contacted to pitch on a project and I was so inspired. I ended up writing a piece in like 4 hours or something and like a custom theme for it. I sent it off and they're listening to it right now, presumably. So hopefully I'll have some good news on that front. The other thing is, you guys, I'm so thrilled to announce that I was nominated for the Society of Composers and Lyricists Award for Dead Whisper, the soundtrack. I couldn't believe it because there were so many big time shows and films that were in that category. Even one that I'd mentioned, a nature docuseries that I'd orchestrated on, sadly didn't make the cut. So I just feel so grateful that our little indie film, resonated with people and that people really enjoyed the soundtrack. It is up right now against Inside Out 2 and Nosferatu. So you get an idea of like, I'm in really big time company. But the awards show will be in, I think, February. So I'll keep you all posted on that. But I woke up with the shock of my life, to see that. So I was really grateful for that. And then the last piece of news is I mentioned to you I'm working on a psychological horror film that I'm composing and also producing on called The Conduit. Now, The Conduit is kind of... I don't want to say too much about it, so I'll just say that I finished version 1 of the score. I showed it to the director, and he loved it from the get-go. I think we're very aligned on the things we need to do to kind of get it to the next level before we wrap it in early January. So I'm going to work on that in probably the first week of January and stuff like that. But I think this week I'm going to probably take off and do minimal music stuff. The last bit of music news before I forget is my single called My Year, which I recorded with a 20-piece string section in Budapest. I recorded my vocals, my piano, and guitar, bass, and it's just more of an adult contemporary kind of piano ballad about self-reflection and how the only way through challenging times in life is through celebrating the small moments rather than aspirationally looking to the big ones only. So that's where true change comes from, at least I think so. And that's kind of the lyrics and the impetus of that song. So I'm leaving the pre-save link below. If you feel compelled to support the channel in any way, that's the best way, really you could support the channel is to pre-save, because that Spotify algorithm always sees the first day or 2 days how many people are streaming it, how many people are pre-saving it and stuff. So that always helps the algorithm gods. So if you feel compelled, I'm eternally grateful to you. And that's it for me. Let me know how your week has been. Did you read anything interesting? Are you excited about any plans for the holidays? People, the holiday season is upon us. So I want to know all about what you're up to, and we can continue the conversation in the comment section. Of course, we can also continue the conversation in the Discord. I'm happy to talk to you every and each way that you prefer. So I'm Nikhil with Shelf-Esteem. Be good to each other. Be good to yourselves. Have a very happy holidays, my friends. And much love. I'll see you on the next video. Take care.